episode 5, and we've got one of rising stars from the Knights Juniors, but now has made his debut on the weekend with Redcliffe Dolphins. So we've got Kurt Donahue with us. How do you pronounce your name? Because growing up all through juniors and that, I've always called you Kurt Donahue.
Yeah, I just say Kurt Donahue. Kurt Donahue. Kurt Donahue.
Yeah. And then I was seeing it spelt, and I was like, it's spelt Ho. But talk to us a little bit about who you are and where you're from, brother.
Obviously, Kurt Donahue from Heights. Grew up around that area. High. Played all my junior down. We had a core group of we all enjoyed each other's. Yeah, pretty much that was it for juniors. Hunter Sports High and like rep footy with pretty much done that and mixed between two of my juniors. Made my way through into first grade night system.
Let me just ask a few of the viewers. So, guys, I'm Kurt's sort of going in and out a little bit for me. Is that the same with you guys? Just let us know, on the feed. I feel like, sort of losing you in and out there, Kurt. Let me just see what the viewers are saying. Yeah, in and out. So in and out a little bit. So we'll see how we go. Where are you? In the shed somewhere?
Yeah.
What are your living arrangements up there, brother? Where are you staying? Because I know that they talked about when you go back to Q Cup. If you go back to Q Cup, you're going back to Rocky. So where do you stay week to week?
Yeah, so I'm in it's like in Redcliffe, and I'm in it. So they've looked after me, but I have to move to Rocky now because I'm in top 30 full time with the NRL squad. Get dropped back to Cup. They'll just fly me out to play Cup, and then I'll fly back here the whole time.
Yeah, okay. You're still dropping in and out a little bit, Kurt. I can see, but a couple of the questions were around junior footy and the school stuff. So you've already sort of answered that. Central Charlestown. Who did you come through juniors with? Was it Charlestown all the way from like when you first started out? Did you play somewhere else before
Charlestown when I was 6. Yes, stayed there from under 6 to under 6 to under 17s and junior. Then started off and then just went to first grade after that.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about junior reps as well, brother. You talked about a lot of the boys that have sort of came through at Charlestown with you and through school and that as well. Talk to us a little bit about your junior reps and days with the Knights as well.
There was like the Newcastle rep teams back in the day, or something. I started the old green and then I never Nats or SG ball or anything like that. Yeah, back then it was pretty disheartening. Not in summer squad, they can not get a call up, but I didn't really till got sent down to Central Coast, and did you want me to go down there? Before round 1, I got injured. I kind of cracked the shits a bit and just come back. And that was when I debuted in first. And had the year in first. And then Knights picked me up, signed me first contract with Knights, which was So then,
How old were you? How old were you then,
I
Kurt?
would, I think it would have been like 18, 19.
Yeah,
And then
right.
that had a preseason there. Got to round one. We played round one, and then COVID. So local league because 20s comp wasn't on. That I ended up because Knights chose not to put a 20s team, and yeah, that year I was training with I was playing back at Central first. I did play one game of cup, but that was it. There was one game, so I played, and then that was it for a year. Until then, they put me back into the under 21. Pretty much played most of the year there, and got during the year.
I want to. I'm still getting a little bit of feedback to say that you're cutting in and out, brother. Can we get you to have a look at maybe a different spot there? See how you go.
Yeah, I'll try in my bedroom.
Have they got you staying with a couple of the other boys? You've got a couple of the boys there, or
Yeah, a couple of the boys. We all got.
Yeah, good.
There's 3 of us at the moment.
Yeah, right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha. Let me know if you can hear him, guys, on the feed as well. But yeah, I want to hear that a little bit again because I feel like a lot of people have missed it. But talk to us about the junior rep stuff. So, and when you first signed a contract, because I think it's pretty important for people to hear. They probably thought, and me too. Like I thought that you'd come right through juniors with Tyrone and all them. So it's the first for me even hearing that you weren't even in the mix, until sort of last year before.
Yeah, so I could never made any night squads or anything until when I was like 18 in that week, and I had a pretty good year in the local comp first grade, and ended up getting the Knights contract after McKinnon. He was the Knights, and yeah, he probably just gave on to sign me for the year after in 20s. Pretty much how it all started. So that was only.
That was only what, 2021? Is that right? Or 2020 off season?
2020, I think.
Yeah, right.
Started, yeah. And then it got called off.
Yeah. In terms of your junior rep footy, then it's just a lot of the Newcastle junior reps, is that right? Did you say you went down the Central Coast as well and had a bit of a go?
Yeah, I had a bit of him. And going well there, but yeah. And then I kind of just got sick of the league, back up here. Left that and come back up here, and ever done, to be honest. Because great, I don't know if I would have got the Knights contracts.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I don't know how people give us a bit of feedback, guys, because Kurt's still in and out for me here as well. So let us know if he's a little bit the same with you guys. But we'll keep rolling on, brother. Obviously, 2022 was a bit of a topsy-turvy sort of season for you as well. In and out of the 20s, back and forth from, or a couple of times from Central in Newcastle Rugby League as well, where you're playing first grade. And a lot of the time when I saw you playing first grade, you're playing centre. I've always known you as like a half hooker, maybe a little bit of lock here and there. But how'd you come to be in the centres in first grade?
Because I think I was 17, turning 18. He said he wanted me to debut, but he just wasn't sure if I was ready. He wanted to play me at centre, just still play my game if I was playing 5'8", but in the centres. Ended up just staying there. We ended up signing some pretty good halves, Walsh and Dylan Pythian. So, and my whole time at Central until last year as well. When I was out of 20s out Newcastle.
Yeah, okay. Did you get what sort of did you get from that season you spent with Walsh and Dill Vivian? Jack Kelly was there as well. Some really good first grade footballs, but obviously Walsh played a lot of NRL, and Dill Fifth played a lot of Q Cup as well. So a lot of experience there. Like, what sort of stuff did they teach you as well? What sort of confidence did you get from them?
Yeah, I learned that was one of the most enjoying years. Luke Walsh, just all them little things of the game he does in wide, and he taught me heaps of that. Piff, just the way he played, his style. He's a great. Yeah, they both got their own and what they do, but definitely learned heaps.
Let's talk a little bit about last year, because as I mentioned off the top there, you made the grand final. Speaking to your coach, who I happen to work with as well, in Gleeso said that, I think you got dropped once or twice, but had a little bit of an injury as well, came back from the injury, and he said you were just in red hot form, and, led the charge into the semis and eventually into the Grandy, where got beat somehow after you were up like 2 tries with 5 minutes to go or something. Probably something that you guys will never forget, and a lot of people that watch it won't either. But what was that sort of experience like, coming back and forth? You talked a little bit about giving up early on and not knowing whether you were going to get a contract, So what was it like then?
Yeah.
When you had a few little setbacks and had to go back to local league? Were you ready to throw it in, or is that why you are where you are today? You went back and you sort of worked your ass off, I suppose.
Definitely so close to throwing it off the season. I was captain of and then round 2, and then 10 weeks, and then it was over, and I was back in the team, and then I was a bit underdone, so I'm fit, and I was in the next game. They played me in centre, shocker, and then got dropped back to local. So I was under Bobcat at South, and he was great for me as well, supportive. Got me a year, and then I think it was games into that I got pulled back into the Knights. But while I was on that break, I was having conversations around throwing the towel of Knights and finish off my season, because I thought I was just going to be like, from then on, I was ready to have ended up coming back into the Knights team, and that back end of the year. So,
and the rest is history, as they say. I want to know a little bit more about how you sort of kept your head, though. Like, obviously Bobcat. We're talking about Andrew Ryan, who played a lot of NRL with Canterbury and Parramatta, and played Origin and played for Australia. For a lot of people that sort of don't know who he's talking about when he says Bobcat. Talk to us a little bit about Bobcat's mentality and the conversations he sort of had with you too, Kurt. Was he instrumental in getting you to go back? Because I'd imagine he would have wanted you in town rather than back playing locally at your age. Because how old are you now?
Yeah. So that was my 20s. And yeah, I went think I just want to stay at the South like nights. And maybe if I can finish the year, I can try and set something. But yeah, he just said, or if that's the best idea, like, yeah, they're going to look after you medically. I can and finish the year because they'll probably, and he's like, yeah, your best would be just staying there. So then, yeah, I ended up staying, going back and hitting some good form.
And have you spoken to Bobcat since? Because I think he's moved down. He's in a role down at the Bulldogs as well. So did he try and poach you down there?
Yeah, we've spoken heaps. He's excited as about it all, but I didn't really have any offers towards the end of the season to him. Like, I know you're going down. What's going on? Is there much going down there? Ask a few questions, but we didn't really hear anything. But I'm like that looking after me.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the move, right? Because I don't know if it's true, but I've heard whispers that like you're more or less told that you weren't in the future plans at the Knights, even though, like I mentioned about your coach in 20 said, or 21s with the flag, but he said that you're instrumental and, one of the leaders. You talked about the captaincy as well. How did you feel when you're forced to go up there? Or you tell a story. Were you forced? What was the conversation like with the Knights?
Pretty much. I honestly thought that they were going to keep me. Like, I think was going, and like a lot of us 21s and bring us through.
Mm.
And from what I've been told, back off the club directly, but through the other sources of invest in me, which is disappointing because there, like, although I wasn't playing my gym, I grew up there, my family massive, still where I wanted to stay, but and so yeah.
And this is the thing, and I've been pretty vocal with it, brother. Like, obviously, we were Knights juniors when we were kids. Everyone wanted to play for the club, right? It was a one club, one town sort of thing mentality, Like, talked to Matty Lantry, who coached at Maitland and done some development stuff, and a couple other fellas. Birdie, we've had on. We talked about how passionate we were as kids, and I imagine you fellas would have been the same. You just talked about it a little bit then. That everyone wanted to play with the Knights as kids coming through here. But when you hear this sort of stuff, I mean, you weren't the only one last year as well. Like Max Bradbury played in the Origin 20s, you know what I mean? He's one of the bright young front rowers coming through, and he got pushed as well. And, if you look at the team sheets this week, he's in the reserves for Cronulla's first grade side, but it wasn't seen as being good enough to play here at Newcastle. Like, I think Ash has been pretty vocal, Ash Gordon, and had a bit of a chat to the papers this week. But do you feel like if you got an offer, you would have stayed?
Or a couple of weeks in a NRL system, me and my manager were talking about if we can just go with an NRL club like first, but we'll both like showcase stuff like that. But fun. And yeah, the boys now from Newcastle and
I still can't hear you, brother. You're still coming in and out. I don't know if that's the same for guys on the feed, but just let me know if we can sort of, if Kurt's coming in and out for you guys as well. But I only asking a question, brother, because I think it's important for people to hear the story as well, like, because it's not that it's anything personal for us with the Knights or anything. Like, we love the town. We go in, like the club, and we go in and watch games all the time because it's like a religion in Newcastle, with the Knights. But I just think it's kicking the ass for all of you good juniors that coming through the club, and you think that they would invest in their future. And you fellas went through and played in the grand final. Were very unlucky to lose it to Penrith, who's a powerhouse themselves, and they're letting a lot of you guys go. If they were in the top four, every year and they're consistent like Penrith or Melbourne or Roosters or whatever, you would understand. But the fact that they've, been struggling to make finals and stuff, and they're still letting good juniors go, it just blows my mind. And I know it blows a lot of people's minds, 40 people around the area. So pretty disappointing. But on the other end, let's talk about the week, let's talk about making your debut after everything that you went through last year. And I talked about it in the promo of this episode, rapid rise, because you were playing, 20s, and you talked about playing local league with South just last year. So, and you're in limbo. You didn't know if you're out of contract or not, Kurt. And now, you play round one in Redcliffe Foundation, or new club in NRL, first ever game. You're in there, so you're part of history as well, brother. But talk to us a little bit about the week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. Just from the first time I got told, I think it was like 2 weeks before, so I could think about it. And secret for the first week. Yeah, then it was all same moment. The build, all my teammates, coaches, everyone was so. But yeah, I'm happy it's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Who was obviously mum and dad, first people you called, eh? And what was their reaction?
Yeah, they were shot over the moon, happy. They were so happy. That was the hard one.
What about you're obviously doing the right thing up there, right, for you to be called in the NRL squad. So talk to us a little bit about, before you arrived and where you're sitting now as well, like weight-wise, fitness-wise. What sort of work did you have to put in to be at the point you're at now in the NRL squad?
Yeah, so pretty much I come in bad shape. I was in pretty good shape. I'd been doing a lot because the plan was the whole a 16-week training trial, my ass every session. Before I went off the piss for a couple of weeks, he just knuckled down, treated, and yeah, just went into a fitness session or something. Try to get leading some sort of, and yeah, as the pre-season went on, it seemed like they were starting to show in me. They invited me to the army camp, and once I got to the army camp, I just did not want to, didn't took, and I gained respect that weekend, and a lot of the play.
I missed a little bit of that, but I want to talk to you about the play. I think I caught that you earn Wayne's respect that weekend. Talk to me a little bit about some of the senior players that have sort of been really good for the group, but who's been good for you as well? Like, who's given you the confidence for you to believe in yourself, and for you to feel like, I've got the ability and the skills to be able to be a part of this team?
I'd say a lot of the boys that have been in Gilbert, a few of them other boys, them sort of players, they've been real roughing me up and making sure I'm ready. They've just been keeping me on it. They've just shown me with actions, and that's just making me work harder every day, boys.
Would you say Tommy Gilbert is setting the sort of the benchmark for the club, and like, who's driving the benchmark or driving the standards? Who's setting the bar? Because obviously you got a couple of players from Melbourne there as well. Melbourne being known as a club that's big on culture, and a lot of people chuck it in from down there, but a lot of people with no name go down there and become household names, because they just willing to put in the work and do all the little one percenters. So, who's been driving the standards at the Dolphins, brother?
Yeah, you obviously got the Bromwich brothers and Confuse, and they definitely honest. And then you got your players like Tommy Gilbert, Ray Stone, 100% effort every time. Them boys, they're always a lot of energy and a good morale. As long as the leaders being leaders.
Ray Stone, to me, like, I remember when we were kids, and a couple of the boys that were up in grade would talk about Steve Simpson. They reckon Steve Simpson trained how he played, and no one wanted to be around him because he took things so serious. So he'd be full on the training. Ray Stone, to me, he looks like a Steve Simpson mold. Is he full on at training as well? Because he gives everything in the game. Like, he's just like a little pinball.
No, I'd say that's more Tom Gilbert. He's an idiot. The trainer, sorry. But he's a grub. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Even Big Jesse Brummy.
Yeah.
Elbow, forearm to the face. The big.
What's it been like with training and that too, Kurt? Like, what's it been like with all the boys that are sort of going back to Q Cup and that? Are they still around the group, or as the group sort of diminished in size? What's the setup like now? Give us an idea of what a setup's like in NRL, where you got have you got more than one sort of feeder club as well? Because we're not used to that down here in New South Wales, eh?
Different out there. So there was about age in our squad. It's cut down to like 35, something like that. So a lot of the trainers, their affiliates, and the whole squad, and then half of the cappers, CQ, and half of state. So that's the divide. P&G come down, but they've all gone. So, but we can players from there as well if they're ready for.
Yeah. Okay. What about made your debut, right? I talked to Ryan Hoffman last week, and Ryan Hoffman I was impressed with him because I played a little bit of juniors with him, right? But I didn't really know him that well. And he mentioned numerous times in the yarn last week that he was never ever satisfied with just one game. Where a lot of people say, I remember Robbie O saying when he won the Club Churchill, he could die tomorrow and he'd die happy man. And a lot of people would say that about, I've played first grade now. One game, I'm happy now. I've done it. I've achieved it. A lot of people haven't achieved that. What's your mentality, brother? Are you one of them blokes that are happy with one game, or has it made you a lot hungry for more?
After the weekend, It's definitely not over. Fucking try my ass off. I want next 10 years, so I'll be bust session and keep doubling down on. Yeah, it's definitely not over yet.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the game too, because obviously, it would have been a bit of a, obviously on a high because your major debut, but a bit of a low point too because the game was probably in the balance, so it probably didn't suit. They're probably trying to find a time to get you on. Marshall King everything was sort of coming off him as well, and you're coming in playing the same position, so they got you in at a sort of a crucial time, and then they bring you back off again and put the more senior hooker on there. What was the emotion like for you with the game too?
Oh, so I'm not used to coming off. Like I haven't played much hooker over the years, so it's all kind of new grounds for me. But I was just working myself up on the bench, so many warm ups and stuff. But out there, straight out into that, like off that offload, and I think I just started anxiety is going through the roof.
Yeah.
It kind of yeah, I don't bowl. It was definitely a smart thing to do, and it was totally fine with it. I'll get another crack next week. Yeah, so I did a week up next week to be better. Show
Yeah,
everyone
that's good. And hopefully get a bit more time to Kurt, to sort of show your wares. You brought on, like I said, at a crucial point in the game where they're probably, looking for one or two more tries to put the nail in the coffin, and then the Roosters come back and score a try, and the game's on edge again as well. So you came in at a bit of a rough time. Went down a blindside there, threw a cutout, and I thought, dream debut. He's going to put one on his chest and put him away down the blind side there as well. But like a bit of adrenaline. But it's awesome that he's shown faith in you too, brother, to give you another crack. Because you only had played. What'd you play? 5-7 minutes or something.
But
yeah,
for me another crack. It's I'm very grateful for that.
What long term? What are you thinking positional wise as well? I know you just take whatever you can get early on, but what do you see as your best position?
I think 5'8". After the 5'8", I think that's definitely where I start mature. But for now, utility role, that 9 role needs me. For now, I'm happy to fill that out.
Talk to us a little bit about the young 5'8" that's there, young Katoa. Did I hear he played against you in the grand final? I think he's going to be one out of the box too when he gets a few games under his belt. He looks like he's got a bit of class about him.
Yeah, we had a good battle in the but he's humble. He works hard. He's always I remember after the ground, mate, you're gonna have a big future, telling you. And then I was just so happened to be that we were together a couple of months after together, and then we debuted together. So relationship, me and Isaiah, and
What who, based on the off season, who have you been looking forward to sort of seeing the most of, I guess, or who's impressed you the most coming out of pre-season, and who do you reckon is going to surprise a lot of people?
in pre-season, I'm gonna have to spend leading everything, like workhorse. But then the hammer, he's just burning. You're just thinking, I can't wait to watch this bloke people. Left, right, and centre, and you obviously got your big boys as well. If you see them in the wrestling rooms and they're banging, and then to see it out in the week and happening, it's pretty surreal.
talk to us a little bit about the old Fox, the coach. I'm Broncos fan and obviously love Wayne Bennett and everything Broncos. Growing up as a kid, what's he like in person? Obviously, in the media, a lot of people pay. I talked to Andy Raymond a couple of weeks ago, and he said he was hard to interview because he'd only give you little short answers and stuff. What's he like in person, brother? Behind all the cameras, away from the cameras.
Yeah, nah. He's to a lot of the boys. He's been people and stuff. He's hard on some of the boys, but he's with everyone. Like he makes sides and so good. He's keeping all the boys honest. He's like also he's actually a good footy. Like sure what I was going to get, but fucking saying some really good. Yeah, like you hear a lot of people talk people management side. You don't hear them talk, and listen to him talk about the footy side of it. To me, obviously, you just hearing it in person. Yeah.
Yeah, something else. What about before we let you go? I want to talk to you a little bit about your touch stuff as well, because I imagine when you look at being at the crossroads and whether you're going to throw it in or not, touch would have been at the top of the list, obviously, because talk to the people a little bit about your touch background as well and some of the sides, and don't be humble. Let everyone know.
Touch is easily to helping you become a good rugby league. The ball skills, all the you learn, to start playing rugby league. Obviously, you need the tough, the core skills and stuff. Definitely stems from touch. Yeah, I done a lot in touch. Played for a lot of teams, Australia and stuff like that. And a pretty successful team and also the Hornets and stuff like that. And the typing for a year as well. Got to start in that. Yeah, I had a good career in touch. There one day.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
I remember watching you and Floydie and Matty. You played with them boys.
Yeah, we was at Newcastle.
Yeah.
We had a we only lost a handful of games to under 18, so we did.
Yeah, some red hot teams. Before we let you go, talk to us a little bit about the journey you've been on. Obviously, still young. A lot of time left if you want to make the most of it, and I'd imagine you want to, brother. But I feel like this is an awesome story. Young fella is down and out, never really made rep sides. Get your one opportunity, take it. What advice can you give to young fellas who are not much younger than you, because you're still only, 21? What would your advice be to these young fellas who are at a crossroads like you have been just recently?
I'd say just look. There's going to be. I had plenty of time, and my head was down. I think you just gotta. If you have to take a little break and then come back in, like I went back to local footy, and then person a better player, so I step back. But where you want to be, your end goal, take that little break, and then come back to it.
Yeah.
Digging away at it. So I was like, if I look back at book from last year when I was playing 20s, out with my goals and off, and I had no idea I was going to tick them off this 2-3 year thing, but I think it's important writing stuff down.
Speaking of writing stuff down, what have you written down for the rest of the year for yourself? What are your little short-term goals? And like, how long have you signed up there at Redcliffe?
Yeah, one for 1 year, for a second year, but just 1 year at them, and I just want to try and be consistent, get my body right, trying to make an origin side. I'm just trying to turn and just Dolphins this year, and then see what happens.
Who's been the biggest sort of inspirational motivation for you as well, brother? In your times of need when you were struggling down and out, who was the person that was there for you the most? Give them a plug.
A lot of my friends. I was with Brian. He's been a big one. He probably hears me whinge the most about everything. Yeah, Joe Gordon as well. Ash, for me, I always look towards them like that.
Yeah.
But it's probably the fact that so many times just made me that more hungry, driving myself. And self-found has been a massive one. And just never want.
Yeah, awesome. So we see you in this week, or what? They've named you. Are you in?
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome,
we'll
brother.
get a couple more minutes.
Yeah, hopefully you get a few more minutes to show your wares. And yeah, want to say thanks for coming on, Kurt. Appreciate your time, brother, and proud of you. And all the best for the rest of the year, eh?
Sweet. The stream was pretty clear.
Yeah. No, we'll see how we go, brother. We might be able to fix it up even if it is. But thanks again for coming on. All the best for the year, eh? And take care.
Thanks heaps for that.
Thanks, brother. Kurt Donahue there, guys. A bit messy with the reception from Kurt's, and I'm glad it's someone else's and not mine this time. So you can't blame me. But a young fella there who, and we hear these stories every now and then, like obviously Birdie was one of those kids years ago, went on and played for New South Wales and Australia. Latrell Mitchell was one of the kids that, I didn't get an opportunity at the Knights, went on and done the things he's done. Josh Jackson, Mick Ennis, we can go on for days with a lot of the juniors that have left. That you would think you see the value in a lot of the good juniors, and you build that for future generations. Like I talk about all the time when we were young fellas. That when we go in there, it was packed. Everyone wanted to be there. It was just standing room only, and it was chock-a-block because everyone wanted to be there. And it was a lot of local juniors and, Joey and Betsy, and obviously all those guys were there and they were successful, but they were successful because of the amount of juniors they had. And to see that these guys in town are still letting good juniors go, it's just disheartening. Tyrone Means at the Bulldogs, Max Bradbury, like I mentioned before, State of Origin last year, was one of the best players in the field, might even got the man of the match in the under-20 State of Origin with Queensland and New South Wales, and now in the reserves in Cronulla, so probably get a chance in the next 5-6 weeks. Why are we letting these kids go from Newcastle when clearly Newcastle aren't in a position to be letting guns go? Honestly, we need to have a good look at ourselves in town here. It's pretty disappointing. I know a lot of old Knights heads will be watching this. I saw Sparrow Clifton on here before, who did a lot with juniors and coach that's coming through. It's just disheartening to see they've let another one go, or another 3 go. Hopefully there's not many more that they let go, and they see the value in their juniors and they can start to build a bit of a dynasty here. But until they, for me, and it's only my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to it. I just don't see that they give the juniors the respect they deserve around here. There's a lot of kids that they bring in now from out of town. Let's just say, I won't mention places. I'll just say out of town. And I just think I've heard something mentioned around that they don't feel like there's enough talent in Newcastle as well, which is it's pretty hard to hear that as well. But anyway, that was Kurt Donahue. One game in the bank for Redcliffe now. He's named again this week, so hopefully the big fella gets a bit more time this week, and he can show his wares and start to build a bit of a run for himself and get his confidence up and cement a spot in the side. We'll look a little bit. What I might do is we've got the boxing on tonight, so I might go and watch that. But next week we'll do a bit of a recap. We'll get a couple of fellas that come on and co-host. So Ash obviously coached. Ash Gordon coached Kurt right through juniors. Got a lot of respect for Kurt, and likewise Kurt for Ash, as he mentioned. And Ash was supposed to come on, but he wouldn't answer his phone. He's good at that, Ash. So Ash, if you're out there watching, or if someone's there with him, show him. Answer your phone, Ash. Would have been a good chat. With young Kurt. We talked a little bit about it last week, and Ash mentioned, give him this week and we'll talk to him next week, and then he didn't get on. So pick your act up, Ash. You owe me a feed now. But we'll do a recap next week, guys. Thanks for watching the Yarn with Kurt. I hope you got a lot out of it. Show your young fellas. Share this one far and wide as well. And we'll see you again next week. Look forward to seeing you all again. I'll put out a promo later in the week to let you know who we've got on next week. And if there's any juniors starting, I am going to do a little competition this year for our little mini game changer of the week. So if you got any footy coming up, I know there might be trials soon, but when we get into the season, you got any little clips of your young ones, nieces and nephews, whoever it is, send them in and we'll play them here, and we'll get a little poll or something, or just pick live who we think our little game changer of the week is, and we might send out a little prize every week for them. So if you got any clips of your kids or your family members, young ones, let's say 15 or under, if they're doing freakish things out there, remember this is why we set it up in the first place. We want to see them game changers. We don't want to see the people that are just playing by the book. We want people that are out there, showing their skills and not being afraid to show their skills. And hopefully coaches aren't coaching that out of them, but they're encouraging to try different things every week, because our motto here is play what you see. So you can't be a game changer if you don't play what you see. So if you've got any videos in the next few weeks, send them in. We'll play them. We'll give the little ones a little bit of airtime and have a bit of fun with it along the way. And then, we'll get some prizes. If there's anyone out there wants to throw a little bit of sponsorship in, it doesn't have to be money. Could be just little prizes. Let us know. Hit us up on Messenger or whatever, and we'll get that out to the guys. Otherwise, we'll come up with something anyway. But thanks again for watching tonight. Congrats to Kurt Donahue on his debut last week with Redcliffe. And enjoy the footy, guys. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you.